everyone. I wasn't planning to join the open mic, but I saw heroes is the topic, and I know that heroes are people that made me and people that have saved me. So I figured I'd tell you 3 short stories about 3 important heroes to me. First, once upon a time there was this little girl. She was 14. She was living in a small little village. Her dad was sitting on the bed and was whispering to her, "Come here. Come here. Baby, give me a cigarette. Just one more cigarette." And those were the last words of her father as he died of lung cancer for so much cigarettes. And so she had to grow up at 14, become the father to her younger brother, and try to put this family together that you could see was just torn apart from miles distance. She becomes an adult, she moves out to the city, wants to make life on her own, works in a factory, but she's just dusting the ground. And then she sees a poster, job for the best secretary, and like a very important job. She goes and applies, and then everybody looks at her very weirdly at the exam because they say, "The job's already given. These people already have the answers, but if you want to join in, sure." But she leaves out there victorious because she had all a straight A, and those who already had the answers, they didn't get a straight A. So she got the job. Courageous as she was, she got married, and courageous even more, she had a child. She was born after 7 months, and after she attempting 3 different miscarriages, she finally had a girl. But then again, she had a husband who didn't know how to respect her courage, her heroism. She started beating her, yelling at her, and she knew, "I will not raise a family with this man at the head of it." So she decides to divorce. In a communist Romania where divorce is frowned upon, she discovers that also she's pregnant, so she has to do an abortion. In communist Romania where it's not just frowned upon, it's illegal. But luckily, she finds the help of an incredible ally, her mother-in-law, who knows, he may be my son, but he's a fucking asshole. So I'll help you out. The second hero was a boy, when he was 14, he was sleeping somewhere with his cows on the field, and he was too far from home, so he said, "You know what, I'm going to stay with the cows for tonight." Makes a small little fire, but then he falls asleep without putting it out. So that fire expands, reaches his right leg, and it gets burned. They sent him to the hospital, but back then, communist Romania did not have smart doctors. They said, "Ooh, here's a man with a burned leg. What do? We put it in a cast." Because, yes. So he becomes disabled, but he doesn't consider himself that way. But the only school he can go to, because again, communist Romania, you have to go somewhere on the other side of the country. And in order to visit his parents, what did he do? He had to learn to get straight A's to get a free ticket to beat Christmas at home. 3 years in a row, he got straight A's. The last one, he didn't, and he spent Christmas home. Now this boy and this girl met somewhere in 1983 as adults, and they became husband and wife. They became my parents, and they are the heroes that made me. But the last person I want to talk is the hero that saved me. On a Sunday morning, she went to this train station, Amsterdam Central, to leave a friend to say goodbye, and then she was driving back home, but she said, "You know what, I need some groceries." But it's Sunday morning, 7 a.m. The only place something could be open would be Amsterdam Central, so she turns back. But before she goes grocery, she says, "Let me admire the view." So she admires it for a few seconds. And then she admires a sound and a guy going, "Ah!" And she's like, "What the hell's going on?" And she sees me. Then I enter the picture. She sees that I have my hands on my head, and she sees blood dripping from all the side and says, "Excuse me, can I see what's going on?" And I'm like, "Sure, be my guest." Take my hands off, and she sees how my skin is ripped apart. And then the moment she says, "Get into the car, I'm going to take you to the hospital." But in an incredible moment, she has this foresight. "Let me tie your bike." Surprisingly, I had a different foresight, because she was about to tie only the frame. And I'm like, no, 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 front wheel as well. Front, this is a mountain bike, you know how easy you take these wheels away? Put that on the front wheel. And then she looks to me with this kind, but at the same time very passionate gaze. Sweetheart, your brain is open! Get in the car! So I get in the car and I'm like, I hope I'm not going to stain your car. And she's like, I hope so too. So I take off my hoodie, I put it on my head, and we're waiting to get at Ost. We're sitting there, and then she's talking to this, practically a talking hoodie, going, are you still here? Are you still here? Yes, I'm not planning to leave. I'm still here. I'm still here. And we reach the hospital, and she's freaking out, because these people are super calm. Because they see someone with a little blood on his face on a Sunday morning. He's thinking, this guy's drunk. He passed out somewhere, and of course we have to take care of him. So they're all super calm. What's your birthday? What's your last name? You're like, is that seriously the best question you can answer right now? She's yelling in Dutch, blah, 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 blah. I understood that much. And then the nurse comes like, hey, hello, man. Here, sit down. May I have a look? And he opens, sees behind the hoodie and goes, get him to the doctors, quick. Now that woman had no idea who I was. And I luckily found her phone number and I could talk to her the second day afterwards. Heroes come out of nowhere, but they make us and they save us. And I hope that after this event, in general, if you have a hero in your life, call him and give him a big thank you and a hug. Thank you, everyone.